News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined today by Chronicle editor-in-chief Eric Schwartz, Chronicle reporter Isabel Vander Stoep, and CT Publishing VP Franklin Taylor. And we're joined in spirit by our sponsors, Summit Funding and the Roof Doctor. Sorry, I didn't do it perfectly, but...
Almost made it.
Before we go one step farther, I have to confirm something. Isabel alleged a couple episodes ago that you skip episodes, and you have this as 121. This is 120th, sir.
No, this is 121.
No, this is 120.
I think it is actually 120.
100% 120.
No, because last week I accidentally had it as 119 in
No.
first thing.
No, because the one before that is 118. I'm looking at the full lineup here, Aaron. I have stopped
correct.
the steal.
No, because we were at 120 last week, because we talked about it on the podcast.
No.
Isabel was like, how many episodes have we done? And I was like, 120, because it's been over 2 years.
But I'm looking at the full
No,
list.
that was not last week.
I didn't know he was doing it on
weeks
purpose
ago.
and would defend it. But yes, we are on the 120th episode of
120.
The News Dump.
And
Whatever
for the
you say.
listeners, we shook it up with the intro this morning because we are in a new venue.
It's also not morning.
Wah, 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 wah. Did I say morning?
You just said this morning.
I like
It's been a
to
long
5 in the evening.
It's been a short day.
I like to consider this an away game.
Yeah, we are.
We're on the road.
Our podcast studio has been moved from the old publisher suite to
The dead publisher suite.
a deceased publisher, a different publisher
like
suite who is
The
now
accountant's
deceased.
office.
Yeah, this is like an accountant's office or something. Anyway, because there's debates or something.
Yeah, we're going to have the Chronicle editorial board debates starting tomorrow. We're recording them throughout this week. I think we have like 4 or 5, maybe 6 lined up. And we'll be doing those Tuesday and Thursday and then putting the videos out after that, mostly for county offices.
You bring candidates in and then rank them on their physical attractiveness.
Yeah,
correct?
I thought that was a given.
Yeah.
No, we bring them in and we'll ask 4 to 5 questions. It's kind of a standard debate format.
How hot do you think your opponent is?
And then we will upload the videos. It's just another way to give people information now that they have their ballots and are making their decisions on who to vote for, Aaron.
Okay.
And
Though I
Eric-
suggest
Eric
going
even
with your
served
favorite
me.
letter to the editor.
Eric served me a restraining order saying I can't even be here on those days.
Yeah, you got to recuse
gone.
yourself.
I'm sure it was heartbreaking for you.
Devastated.
So upset.
Devastated.
Okay. Well, I'm thrown off now that I didn't do the intro. I don't know what to do.
Well, let's talk about Best of Lewis County.
Yeah, let's talk about Best Lewis County. This was Thursday night at the Juice Box.
We had so much fun.
Big event. A lot of people there. A lot of awards handed
Wonderful
out.
turnout.
Yeah,
That was cool.
no kidding.
A lot of people showed up. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
I think that was probably the most successful Best of Lewis County we've ever had, if I'm not mistaken. Not to insult any previous organizers of Best of Lewis County, but the venue was great. Brian Watson, I thought, did a good job emceeing it. It's really just reading a list for like an hour and a half,
long
so
list.
it's hard to keep everybody engaged. But I thought it was wonderful. Celebrate them online on the Chronicle Facebook page all week, and then it's in the Saturday edition, which you can still grab if it's still Monday.
I bet those are sold out.
Did you guys know that I was named Best Isabel Vander Stoep in Lewis County?
Oh,
Wow.
that's pretty good.
Tough competition.
We were once again, however, snubbed.
Well, there's
still
no
no
best
best
podcast.
podcast category. Someday.
We'll get it next year. Brian Watson will make it happen for us.
You guys say that every year.
But you say it like we would win it.
Well, I just want to be recognized as, like a finalist. That'd be nice.
We got our picture taken together. That was nice, guys.
That was a good photo.
That's cool. Is
a
that going to
framer.
be the
good photo.
podcast cover art?
I used it for episode 119.
But whatever, man.
I'm just saying. You will admit defeat during the break. You're going to have to because I have irrefutable evidence.
don't
And
think
now
you
I
do.
wonder, like,
No,
are we
I
actually on
think
like
he's
episode
100%
70?
right.
Have you been just skipping one every
Was the
every other week?
100th episode actually 100?
I know. Everything's in question now.
Nobody really knows.
You are 120% right, I think.
Yeah.
Well, good for you both. I'm going to mute you and go on a rant. Franklin, the people are also demanding the long-promised News Dump hoodies.
Those have been in the works for a long time.
What's the holdup?
Just no good designs that we've
Well,
had
we
so
don't
far.
have
I just have a
don't have a
design here.
logo.
Okay.
No, all they need to do is you just have a shitty clip art microphone on the back of the hoodie that says News Dump and the Chronicle or something, and then on the front, like in the top corner, like the logo on your little Q-zip there, then it says like
Q-zip?
certified dumper or something.
Actually, that could be pretty
There you
damn
go.
good.
I like
Just
that.
like old English font. Anyway,
So there's the design.
there it is. Make it happen.
There's the design.
News items. You guys ready for news? Should we talk about the news?
Sure.
This one that you've picked as the first news item is the least newsy thing that I
no
wrote
way.
about all week.
This is a good one.
This is a banger.
No, it's fun, but
This one was awesome.
It's literally, it's such a stretch to be news, but it's fine. Go for it.
Animal adventures. Unusual, but not crazy, says Fish and Wildlife official after mountain goat spotted near Castle Rock. So dozens of wooded miles away from Mount St. Helens, does a mountain goat become a forest goat? Solid lead.
Are you going to mention?
Yeah, the Daily News in Longview picked this story up and neutered it. They took the lead away, and that great lead, dozens of, the one you just read, they just made it a mountain goat was spotted near Castle Rock. And they gave her a byline and everything, but just deprived her
They just
of
didn't
the
like it.
lead.
Yeah.
The no fun
I
police
guess
down
they
there.
just thought it wasn't funny.
Not everybody likes having a good
They
time.
employ Jordan Nayland. I want to remind you of that.
Can you imagine that?
I say that in the best possible way.
Opening fish wrap every week and just going, I got to beat the life out of it.
Just take the first 900 words every time.
I mean, I've done that.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, it's unusual, but not quite crazy, Fish and Wildlife's Eric Holman said after seeing the Facebook post describing a mountain goat being in the forest. Holman said he'd advise anyone who sees a goat outside of their typical alpine habitat to keep their distance, but enjoy the rare opportunity. That's an interesting sighting, he said. Congratulations, you've got a mountain goat on your trail camera. That's pretty cool.
I wanted to know what his tone was like when he said that.
That sounds pretty excited.
Was he flat or was he actually excited?
He seems like a pretty positive,
Speaking
upbeat
of
dude.
neutering, you just neutered the next line.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, he was being a little cheeky, I think, because I definitely, first of all, this was just an excuse to run the photo of the mountain goat that was near Castle Rock, right? Like, as he says, it's not the first time, nor will it be the last time a goat has been spotted in the woods, but it is just like a fun, interesting thing. Oh, you wouldn't think that would happen. So I call him for a couple quotes. We talked for like 5 minutes, and then I say, well, anything else? He was like, congratulations. So he was definitely being a little bit sarcastic, but he did think it was kind of cool. He wasn't like, I could tell that he was like trying to be nice about it, but also was thinking.
It's like when we call National Weather Service about the weather,
Exactly.
and sometimes they have fun with it and they're nice. Other times, just like, it's raining. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It's going to be raining for a while.
And after that, it's going to rain more.
Exactly.
Remember last year when the meteorologist said it's been a crappy November and it's going to continue to be a crappy November, and then that was like the only thing he would give me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a good quote.
They do that.
Anyway,
Well, there was one more. There was the DNR guy who had a very long week.
Oh yeah.
Called DNR because Lewis County said their carbon project was illegal, and he was so upset to get a call on Friday.
He was like, I've just been working like 21 hours just on the road in this week. I have been driving from this place to this place, and then proceeded to detail his entire week to me. Like, he was like, I'm so tired. And I was like, this is your job to like give.
This is what you do.
Was it Will?
No, it wasn't Will.
No.
We won't name the person.
Okay.
It was a former journalist.
Anyway, I think Mr. Holman is being earnest, but I read his comment sarcastically as in, oh, wow, you saw a wild animal in the wilderness? Holy shit, alert the press. Oh, someone already did.
I guess what grabbed so this was off of like it was a Facebook page for just game cameras, and the general theme in all of the comments was, oh, wow, they were all quite surprised that it was near Castle
The
Rock,
poster
so.
was really surprised too. He was
Yeah.
like, never in a million years would I have thought I'd get. I mean, it's definitely a cool thing, and I don't think the Fish and Wildlife guy thinks otherwise. It was just like, it's not really
Just
like,
don't go try having
news.
fun with your lead on it.
Yeah.
Daily News will just take care of it. Take it out back and give it the old Yeller treatment.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also added in this story was Bill Saran caught a cougar walking through his backyard on his trail camera. And Bill said he takes precautions to protect his pets from encounters with the big cats, but generally does not worry about danger posed by local wildlife.
again, not super news. I tried to write this story from the angle of, oh, all this wildland urban interface must mean we get these big creatures too, and just sort of like a roundup of weird sightings of big animals. But it's, yeah, like I said, it's not necessarily news, but I think it's interesting. And I linked information on living with wildlife in there too.
All right. What's going on with the bears up in up on the hill?
Yeah, never
They
heard
ever
back
catch
about
'em?
that.
They remain at large.
Did they eat all the residents? And
I'm certain we would have heard about it if they caught it. Because,
yeah,
we were like,
It's a lot of wasted jelly donuts.
yeah,
Maybe they've lived to learn to live in harmony up there.
maybe.
maybe the bears became their friends.
Maybe it was never a bear at all, but it was just a really big cat.
Or maybe it was a person in a bear costume.
Yeah,
It was a picture of it. It was a bear.
you say that about everything. Next item, Motel 6 in Centralia is being turned into apartments. The Sage Investment Group is buying it, which sounds like the type of fake name you'd give your shell company whilst you twirl your mustache and drink brandy in a room full of leather and mahogany. But they do have an owner listed in the story, and her name is Emily Hubbard. Anyway, These are not going to be transitional housing or anything, just regular old apartments.
Isabel had a really short update on it today.
Okay.
Yeah, we got the rent package will be around $900 when they start leasing it out, and we got some renderings of what the rooms are supposed to look like, and they're these like very bright white, super modern apartments. I think as you put this in the notes already, but before you get to it, I wanted to correct it because it's not the mayor who said that, but the owner said that she was really excited about like increasing the portfolio for different levels of affordable housing. And she also mentioned that her company was one of a few that are eyeing hotels and motels in the Twin Cities areas for this purpose, because a recent change in the state law says that like any place that's zoned for hotels also has to be zoned for permanent housing now. So the city can't say like, oh no, you can't build apartments there. As long as somebody buys it, they're allowed to change it into that.
Didn't the mayor also say something to the effect of they were generous enough to come and present to the city council?
Yes, yeah. Mayor Kelly Smith Johnson said like they were kind enough to say this, and we're excited about the different opportunities for it. There was a lot of kind of rumors going around about this being sold to be turned into whether it was going to be a homeless shelter or transitional housing or whatever. And I was finally able to get a hold of the company, and that's not what it's going to be, but it is another thing that, like I said, would increase the different options for housing around here. So that's good.
It's hard to describe the renderings on a podcast, but it looks like a really nice setup. Doesn't look like a abandoned, Motel 6. It looks like it's gonna be finished in a pretty nice little studio.
It's just you can just call it a Motel.
And I'll also
6.
say I was ahead of the curve as I lived in this motel one time,
So did
Wow.
briefly.
That's
It's
awesome.
a great place, let me tell you.
A good place to live.
Oh yeah, lots of eateries nearby,
one of the
Good prime
commenters-
location.
shopping.
One of the commenters would
Charged my Tesla over there.
Had very nice things to say about living there.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to say was Kelly Smith Johnson said that when they were presenting to the city about this, they had other experience doing this in different places and that it had been successful and worked well. And a lot of the comments were just sort of negative about the state of the building. I think they'll probably find a way to work it out.
Yeah, I checked out or added the website to your story for and they show some of their portfolio and some of the things that they've done in the past, and yeah, it's encouraging, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Next story, more floods and worse floods. Quote, in the Chehalis Basin, officials discuss potential effects of climate change. And the long and the short of it is, Chehalis Basin residents are no strangers to flooding, but according to the Office of the Chehalis Basin, they need to prepare to face floods more frequently. It is not getting any better. That's it.
No, I really was interested by the story, and I know there was a healthy dose of skepticism from the general public once we shared this online, just in the terms of being able to look out, 40, 50, 60 years, and also the tie-in with UW modeling. As you know, some people are not big fans of that as it relates to COVID-19. Yeah. And then today we had a Seattle Times story that was about a lot of things, but generally about low river levels and drought mixed with heavy rain. And it's really hard for some, including myself, to wrap my head around that you're going to have way too much water in the fall and winter and not nearly enough in the summer. And the effect on fish it's weird, kind of. I mean, it's a good story. It's up at Cronline.
The takeaway, of course, is just set up some empty barrels around your house.
And my takeaway is I need to build that house on top of my house I've been talking about.
Because
I don't think
Filling
it's going to
your house with
last.
Get the
cement.
concrete truck coming.
Gosh, I got to fill it up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I get worked up about this topic, but not just the UW scientists. That's definitely one of the ones informing the Office of Chehalis Basin, but also just consultants and also all sorts of other scientists have led into this study and project. And the best scientists in the world say this is what's going to happen. And I know lots of people don't like to believe that, but
I don't know. And for me, I'm a skeptical kind of guy too, not necessarily on this topic, but in general, I think like most journalists are. It's like a lived experience at this point for me. Like you can look in history and be like, this is a floodplain, a lot of this is, but it didn't used to flood with this ferocity as often as it does. And now it's kind of like not an every year thing, but you can half expect it to happen.
Yeah, but what are the odds it's going to keep happening just because science and your own personal experience say so?
It's all a guess.
the
It's all a
biggest
shot in the dark.
5 recorded floods in the Chehalis River Basin happened within the last 30 years. Like, that's...
So statistics say they won't happen ever again.
Playing some sarcasm ball again.
Yes, I am.
Anyways, yeah.
Next item, Lewis County Clerk candidates talk court facilitator position, electronic filing, and qualifications for office. In this race, Scott Tinney is the incumbent, and Linda Williams is the challenger. Williams is a big fan of bringing in a court facilitator, which we don't have now since the Lewis County Bar Legal Aid shut down. That's not to be confused with Lewis County Bar Rescue. A facilitator is basically someone who helps people who aren't lawyers or regulars at the court navigate the system, which can be very confusing. Scott Tinney also wants a facilitator, but wants it to be a sort of volunteer thing like it used to be. The county used to contract with Bar Legal Aid. Thoughts on court facilitators?
No, I think that's obviously necessary and needed. And they both agreed on that too. Likewise, I don't mean to burn your notes. I haven't read ahead.
No, go ahead.
But also electronic document filing. I will say this isn't the first election where that has come up as an issue with both candidates saying we need to have it. And we need to have it. It'd be a lot easier for everyone. It's kind of surprising to me that that's not across the board, but I get there's a lot of moving pieces there. But they agree on almost everything. It kind of, to me, came down to their experience and qualifications. Tenney's leaning on the fact that he works in the clerk's office. We have a letter to the editor. We have many letters to the editor in today's paper.
How
So
many letters to
many.
the editor do we have?
Oh, a lot. You're just going to
2.5 pages full.
They poured in. And then we have a letter to the editor, though, from the clerks in the Lewis County Clerk's office endorsing Tenney today, which I think he had last cycle as well.
Why is the clerk a partisan position?
It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know the background or history there.
I don't either.
No, it's a good question, though. People, I think, often ask the same thing about the sheriff.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could probably throw assessor in there, maybe.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lay
That's.
assessor.
I asked the
Coroner?
assessors that when I was talking to them. Both of them were like, "Ugh, I don't know. Or the assessor candidates, I mean.
You got to elect the coroner as a check on the sheriff. Remember, Aaron?
Of course,
It's the
we
only
did learn
person that
that.
can arrest the sheriff.
Yeah.
I just have to note, Diane Dorey, outgoing assessor at the Goodrich Pumpkin Patch yesterday. She was
yeah?
in wonderful spirits,
Good.
and she
I bet
seems
she was.
looking forward to her retirement.
Good for her.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Quote from Scott Tinney in this story: "The reputation that this clerk's office has now is that this is a good office to go to. The customer service is second to no office in this county. We are customer focused." That's odd. He claims it's second to no office in the county, and yet I don't recall him winning any Best of Lewis County awards on Thursday nights. They were established specifically to settle such debates.
They were voted best clerk's office, actually.
Oh yeah, that's true. The awards went deep into the night.
It should just keep going. It should go until, just have an impossibly long list, and it goes until Watson passes out. Those are the awards for
Just
that week.
handing him pages while he's almost done.
I've done bits about best thing that is the only one in Lewis County for days now.
Final note on this one. Williams, the challenger's endorsed by former retired Lewis County Clerk Kathy Brack, who was there for a long time. And then Tenney has the endorsement of Rep. Peter Barno, Sheriff Rob Snaza, and Lewis County Commissioner Sean Swope. That's what's listed here anyways.
Tinney has also endorsed Scott Brummer.
Oh, interesting.
He was on his flyer, and Tinney's name was spelled incorrectly.
Oh, boy.
It was spelled as Scott
Tiny.
Tiny.
Bet you he did not appreciate that.
No, I wouldn't. I would revoke my endorsement. Linda Williams was also previously the vice chair of one of my favorite committees, the Lewis County Public Health and Social Services Advisory Committee.
Oh boy, here we go.
That's it. I'll just,
Why are you?
What's
What's the stack of papers you're pulling out here?
Just gonna leave it there. Not even gonna finish my notes. This next one was a really fun story. Pe Ell clerk says she is out. So at the Pe Ell Town Council meeting last Tuesday, Councilor Michael Nichols, not the famed director, complained about the written minutes of the last meeting, and Town Clerk Tara Oster said she was tired of all the rude crap and that she was quitting. You're all ugly to each other, she said. Being kind, that's what this town is all about. It turned out Oster said council members send her edits to the meeting minutes by email, and she has asked Nichols to get an email account so he could do the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
Also, Oster is also one of only 2 employees with a water license, and you have to have 2 employees with a water license in order to operate a water plant. That kind of leaves Pe Ell up shit creek once she's out the door.
I was under the impression that the county operated the Pe Ell water plant.
Not according to the Pe Ell Council.
I did hear the mayor explain it to Matthew, a reporter, in this way. So,
Okay.
But I'm not sure either.
Why?
I want to come to the defense of the Pe Ell Council and the drama and say that this stuff happens at small town city council meetings all the time. And I've been to a
that's
few
true.
of them. Matthew's been going out to Pe Ell. It's his only municipality in his coverage area. So he's been hitting that meeting. So I don't want them to make it seem like Pe Ell's dysfunctional or that, I think this is the same, if not a lot more, calm than you'll find at other meetings.
The bit about, I asked you to get an email account, so I can send
That's
it
pretty
to
funny.
you.
It's pretty funny.
Anyway, Tara Oster is correct. Be nice to people or they'll quit and you'll have no running water in Pe Ell and it'll be like 1995 all over again.
Jeez.
You want to go on to the next one? Any other comments on Pe Ell? You guys good?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I regret to inform all of you that our hero and benefactor, Old Man TransAlta, is starting to show signs of dementia.
Oh, no.
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 The Coal Transition Board, which he personally funds, is giving money to something called Zap Energy, and I refuse to believe it is real. They are taking advantage of our dear sweet Old Man TransAlta.
You think they're scamming him?
This $1 million grant will cover the cost of assessing the feasibility of constructing a Zap fusion energy plant at Big Hannaford. None of that is real.
Do you think
This
Zap
is just
Energy
a-
called Old Man TransAlta and asked him to go down to Walmart and buy some gift cards?
We need all an Amazon gift card.
Old Man TransAlta, it's your grandson, Young Man TransAlta.
In all seriousness, as that was clearly a joke, Owen Sexton, reporter, he's going to go out to a meeting about this very topic. So we'll have more on it next week, but he's going to that tomorrow morning.
According to the press release that was the foundation of this story, Zap Energy, based in Seattle, will work with its own experts and partner with others to create conceptual engineering and architectural designs, perform required environmental and safety surveys, and engage local, state, and federal stakeholders to get feedback for the project. My question, what is fusion? Anybody?
I don't know.
It's
Franklin?
a type of food, I believe. Like Asian fusion. There's a restaurant right by the NVN in Yelm that deals in this energy.
What if that's what it was? It was just one really big Asian fusion restaurant.
Could be. I don't know. It's also a car made by Ford.
And Old Man TransAlta shelled out $1 million just to learn about it. Anyway, so that's happening.
It's probably going to end up being really cool, and you're going to have to walk all this back, Aaron. Or the three of us will get invited to a Zap Energy event, and you won't be able to go.
And I will not get any of that delicious.
And Old Man
On the
TransAlta
tickets,
is going to
it's
give
all
us
of you
coal.
but Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to give us coal, and it's going to say not for Aaron.
You know what? That wouldn't surprise me. Next item, Lewis County PUD Commission votes to have no budgeted rate increases in 2023 or 2024. PUD General Manager Chris Roden called the move, quote, an outstanding outcome for the community. As our customers are dealing with rising costs in many areas, their PUD rates remain unchanged for the next 2 years. That's nice to see.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, there was one commissioner, right? This is your story, Isabel, so I don't want to talk over you. Who was the one who opposed it, and kind of what was the sense of why?
Tim Cornier said that the budgets passed with this version of the no rates increases would cut back on training, maintenance, and something else. And he felt without those things, the utility wouldn't be delivering on its mission to provide safe, reliable power. And then the other two commissioners apparently felt, well, actually, Commissioner Rothland, Ed,
Fast Eddie Rothland?
yeah, he didn't say anything, but he voted for the no budget. No, sorry. I'm not reading off of any notes, so I'm having trouble. But he voted to approve this no rate raising budget. And then Michael Kelly was the third, who's been very outspoken about being anti-rate hikes since like the start of his campaign. And he was really excited about it and said, this is what I've been pushing for all along. So,
I mean, it comes at a great time. Obviously, energy prices going through the roof all across the globe. It's nice to know. I mean, and I think it's been said, but no budgeted hikes. If something breaks, something big, there might end up having to be one, right?
yeah, I think a flood might make,
Right.
you might have to spend a little bit more because you're replacing whatever or something along those lines. But it would have to be something big enough to be different. And also, they are allowed at any time to go back and change the budget.
And it's been a pretty steady climb upwards as far as the rate goes. Not to say that they've been egregious or unneeded. I don't know about that at all. But every year, we get the rates go up 2.6%. I just get used to the rhythm of sharing the same story every year of rates going up.
Yeah.
And so, regardless of whether or not you agree with Michael Kelly, it is something he campaigned on. And a lot of times, you see people run for an office that maybe they don't have complete familiarity with, and then they get in there and they realize a lot of the big promises they had are stuff they can't do, and he did it. Or not he did it, but they did it.
Yeah, and also, as far as that goes with them going back to potentially change it, both of the current candidates for PUD Commission District 3 have talked about decreasing the number of rate hikes and possibly even decreasing rates in general. So it doesn't appear to be something that they will try to go back and change. Like, I think a lot of the commissioners right now, or at least how it will be after the election, it will probably be a very anti-rate hike board.
And Tim Cornier, he's out, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he was beaten in the primary by
Mike
Mike
Adler,
Adler
yeah,
and Kevin Emerson.
Do you want to
So
talk
there
about
you
Mike
go.
Adler's campaign flyer?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Isn't he the one that had endorsements from...
I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, never mind. All right, we'll take a break there.
Hi, this is Jasek from Summit Funding. Here's what a recent client is saying about us.
Hi, this is Chad Taylor. Have you been thinking about purchasing or refinancing your current home? The team at Summit Funding is the best in class. Looking for a conventional FHA, VA, USDA, jumbo, or even a reverse mortgage? Trust the team at Summit Funding. Coralie and I did, and we couldn't be happier.
Thank you to all of our past clients. If you have any questions, give us a call at 360-330-4037.
All right, we're back with Tales from the Takes page, a.k.a. the opinion section. First up, we've got a guest commentary titled Mineral YMCA Camp, an Investment in Nature, and Ourselves. It's from the Senior VP of the YMCA in Seattle, and this column talks about their proposed camp out in Mineral Lake.
YMCA of Greater Seattle.
Greater Seattle.
So it's the whole region.
Okay, but up north.
No, it's worth saying in this instance because they run all of the different camps in Western Washington, which I think there are two, and then they're trying to establish a third. And one of them's Camp Orkila in Orcas, and the other one is, I can't remember the name of it, Camp Coleman.
Okay. Anyway, the gist of the column is kids do need to go outside. Thoughts?
That's not all it is.
It's kind of the first defense, I would say, because YMCA's held community meetings out there, which it seems have consisted of people just opposing them and them listening and then providing some information. I thought it was nice to hear from the perspective of someone that is trying to explain why this would be a good thing, not just for the YMCA, but maybe just in general, it could be a good community thing.
Which I will say a lot of the written testimony in the public feedback of the rezone was of that nature, but it wasn't the loudest voice for sure. I wanted to say on this note with the YMCA one, in our Saturday paper, there was this, and then Brian Mickey had a column about wildfire smoke, And then there was a guest column about the DNR carbon credit proposals. And all three of them were just really well thought out, environmentally, community-minded things, I think. And I just really appreciated that. And I think all three of them are totally worth checking out.
I also learned new information, and you probably had it in your story at some point, maybe not, but she laid out how the plan, YMCA's plan at Mineral Lake, would be for approximately 15 to 20 kayaks or canoes at any time. Would limit it to that. No motorized watercraft. A confined designated swimming area will leave the vast majority of the lake available. And they recognize the lake's reputation as a prime fishing spot, so the YMCA contributed to the WDFW restocking of the lake for this fishing season. So I thought that was all very interesting.
Yeah, that's all new information to me as well.
All right. We've also got a column from Washington businessman Don Burnell. He wrote, "In the face of war, firewood is the new European gold." Yes. From the column, "Blood alone moves the wheels of history."
That's not in there.
I won't go through the whole thing, but...
Wait, I want to read something from Brian Mickey's. There was a subtitle that just said Big Daddy Wolverine.
Oh, yeah, that part was good. That's worth it.
Let me just read this one sentence. "I don't know a lot about Wolverines, but their reputation for ferocity makes me think that Van, a rambling man of a Wolverine whose photo ran prominently in Thursday's Chronicle, would somehow be proud of the title that wildlife conservation experts gave him, the resident male of Mount Rainier."
Hell yeah.
That's what I thought when I saw the Carnivore Project
So
posted.
good.
I was like, that is a badass Wolverine right
Yes.
there.
Better not species alive all by himself.
Keep all these males away.
It's great.
People's Champion of the Week. I have no suggestions.
Oh, man. I wish you'd give
Go
me a
on.
little heads up on that. I'll buy you both time to look for your recommendations and note there were 22 letters in tomorrow's edition of the Chronicle.
What was your favorite letter?
Dang.
My favorite letter was a woman in California who wrote a letter to say that she really appreciated our story about a possible record bull elk being killed.
It's pretty good.
And I accepted her appreciation, but it wasn't our story. It was the Daily World story.
I have one suggestion for People's Champion of the Week, and her name is Myrna Loy. She is a La Center resident. At the age of 77, Loy is celebrating the fact that her 22-year-old cow gave birth to twin calves this summer, and it is the end of the 22-year-old cow's life because she has to be slaughtered in December because she doesn't have any more teeth. So it's a bittersweet story about an old lady and an old cow, not to be confused with one another.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love knowing that it's a cow.
Is it?
Not,
Are we giving
not
it-
a heifer because she had a
A
baby.
cow.
Now she's a cow.
She's been a cow for a while.
Now
But she's 22, so
But if-
she's
but if
been
she never
having
had a baby?
babies. No, she's been
Heifer.
having babies for a while. But yet. I know.
I got to remember this.
And what was the name of this cow?
Louise Jefferson. And
I
not
thought,
to
is
be
this supposed to be a
confused-
play on Lil Weezy?
Okay, that's exactly what I said. That's exactly
22.
what I said. Right, but the date doesn't line up. So I said to this 77-year-old woman, like Lil Weezy, like Lil Wayne, and she was like, "No, I don't know what that's.
She was like, shut the hell up.
I don't know what it actually is, though. I couldn't really figure that out." But then the calves are the twin calves are named Earl and Durrell.
I'm okay with giving Hero of the Week to the cow.
Yeah, the
Okay,
cow.
but not to the woman.
No, I think the cow is the one that is exceptional here.
Yeah.
People's Champion of the Week has
I
been
did
a
mean that
cow
as an insult.
twice in the last 3 months, I think.
Yeah.
They've been robbed many more times than that.
Do we have a butter emails this week?
Yeah, I feel like I need to not keep doing this. It was a stupid idea, but I did have one.
I used to have a burn of the week, and it lasted 1 week.
Oh, I remember
I think
that.
I used it to burn air.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Burn of the week was awesome.
No.
For the one time.
I did have one though, but then I don't think I'm ever going to do this again unless I get something super crazy. But I got an email last night at super late that was asking about the story that we wrote about eCare Mortuary. And then I sent her the story, and then she sent me back this like, "Thank you so much," and a picture of like a sunflower with a smiley face. And then sent another email following that said, "Thank you!" ! And that was like a totally different subject, Ari. And I just thought that was really sweet.
What about
Very
the
nice.
screenshot you threw in Slack regarding maybe mineral or something? The person just commented, "Oh, and guess what? I'm making a pie," or something like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was I have a couple different sources in mineral that I've become sort of pals with over the past couple months, and one of them has been messaging me about the 8 Road fire up in like the LB area, and the firefighters were staying at the Lion's Den campground, and so my source messaged me. They got permission from the campground. Oh, ellipses. Guess what I'm making? An apple pie. And I just was like, I don't know how to respond.
Isabel
to
threw
that.
on her news fedora and went to work on that story. Check out the life section next week and hear all about that pie.
Gonna be leaving that bad boy on a windowsill to cool.
I guess if I did more than just my emails, like I get weird messages all the time, but it's great. I love it. I have these like friends all over Lewis County who send me pictures and things. It's great.
All right, Sirens Banger of the Week.
I see that Isabel has shamed you back into pulling Sirens items
This is
rather
how
than
it should
random
be.
I was
crime.
going to put this one in there regardless.
need it.
This one is
We
great.
need it.
On October 17th, a caller at the intersection of 3rd Street and Chehalis Avenue, which is the Millet Field, I believe, the basketball court's kind of down the road from Thorbeck's, reported kids outside on the basketball court were, quote, blasting inappropriate music and asked law enforcement to go by and shut it down. And then 20 minutes later, another caller from the same spot reported someone across the street was loudly, quote, blaring gangsta rap and asked law enforcement to go by and shut it down. So I like how blasting inappropriate music didn't get the cops there fast enough, so they called back and called it gangsta rap. You can draw your own
Seems
conclusions.
fishy. Yeah. Ugh.
But the caller was from 2 different locations, right?
I think it was from the same spot.
I guess one was at the intersection, so maybe they were walking.
Well, they both say go by and shut it down, quote. So,
Which is classic.
Not a widely used phrase.
officer, there's some youths out on the basketball courts blaring gangsta rap, if you get my drift.
I don't know. My neighbors were playing some loud music not too long ago, and it was pretty adult. And I found myself having to talk really loud over my children, like when I didn't really need to. Like, what do you guys want for dinner tonight? Like, when I knew the naughty words were coming.
Oh, yeah, you knew all the songs.
Yeah, I mean they were classic fare.
They were listening to The Game.
No, they weren't listening to the game.
You
They
guys
should
want
have been,
some-
though.
Do you guys want some Facebook comments of the week?
That's my favorite part.
On the Centralia Motel 6 being turned into apartments. Somebody says, good, I don't see an issue. Better than the rat hole it's been the last 20 plus years. And then somebody replied to that and says, if those walls could talk. And somebody replied back and said, it's best even for me that they keep quiet. With a laughing emoji.
I've seen multiple people sharing that story and being like, man, so many memories here.
Another
It's a
comment,
certain kind of hotel.
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
kidding.
I'm
That
just
is golden.
saying.
That is golden.
comment, so many drugs have been done in that building, it should be torn down. And then I like this one in all caps, and Tom Blodell won't be leaving the light on for you.
I don't get that. Is
So
that
back in the day, there used to be Motel 6 commercials, and it was like this kindly older gentleman, Tom Blodell, who owned Motel 6. And at the end, he'd be like, I'm Tom Blodell, and I'll leave the light on for
oh,
you.
that's funny. Okay. That
And
makes
then
sense.
my favorite comment was,
That's a
damn,
deep cut.
I've had some of my best, greatest memories there. Sad to see it go.
Yes, that's exactly the sentiment I saw a lot.
My best memories came from that Motel 6.
Man.
Very funny.
You know, I think that Motel 6 development is great for anyone that maybe currently doesn't have a roof over their head, Aaron.
I agree. Where should they go?
I think they should go to theroofdoctor.com. Check out all the sweet reviews. I'm trying frantically to get there.
Oh, here's one. Jim L. says, my roof is the greatest I've ever seen.
First things first, we'll get the phone number out of the way. I always forget that. It's 360-352-1924. The Roof Doctor is a family-owned roofing company since 1959. They roof in Olympia and the surrounding areas, of course, including Lewis County, all areas of Lewis County, I would assume. And I'm told that the owners or representative was at Best of Lewis County this week. They were among the honorees.
They were.
I'd say probably the most esteemed of the honorees. I don't think that they won their category, but the way Best of Lewis County works, you can come in second for roofs and also second all finishers because it was a quality thing. you know? Yeah.
It's like a ranked choice
Also-
voting system.
Yes, a ranked choice voting system. So
Sorry to be super insensitive, but in one of the photos that we printed of a recent crash, you can see the Roof Doctor logo and the number for their Chehalis
wow.
building. So, and I didn't know that one before, so we'll share that as well. And it's 360-736-0246.
Here's another review. It's just from Mrs. S. It says, my husband wants to fill our house with concrete and build a new house atop it. Can you provide the roof? Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Interesting review.
Interesting. Yeah, and if you don't believe all that, just go to roofdoctor.com/reviews and read what Steve and Christy J, 5 stars, Paul R, 5 stars, Leslie, 5 stars, Crystal T, 5 stars, Mitchell, 5 stars.
A lot of
Even
stars.
Mitchell.
That is a lot
Had
of
to
stars.
say.
The only non-5-star review came in through Facebook, and it was a simple recommended from Gary B.
All right.
And we all know Gary B is a man of integrity.
Absolutely.
That's my guy.
A few more comments on the story about the wolverine that was sighted. This comment says, I saw one in Boisfort in the mid-90s, which I say, you saw a cat, sir.
You don't even believe bobcats exist.
And then another one says, I saw one at a strip joint in Alaska back in the mid-80s. She scared the hell out of me.
You know, every single time that my sister sends me a screenshot of a comment on the Chronicle Facebook page, you also pull up the same one and have it in the notes. And this is the one that she sent me this week, which was the strip joint one in Alaska. And I think there's something to that. Like, you have the same sense of humor. And I think it's just like whenever things are being destroyed, you're laughing. Because that's
I don't know what you mean. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. In closing, what's coming in tomorrow's paper?
Well, we just put it out, and out front you're going to have Nerf War held for Toledo Boy 4 with terminal heart condition. That's follow-up, kind of, more photo-heavy, but on Titus Sickles, the 4-year-old Toledo boy who has a wish list, and this was on his wish list. He sadly was not able to attend, but the photos look like his family was there, had a good time.
He was able to make it in the last few minutes.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, that's good to hear. That's wonderful. We have another photo heavy because it was a short appearance, but former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard was in Bucota, of all places, which I thought an interesting venue. Like, no, I'm not making any commentary there. It's just probably the last place you'd expect. It had a good crowd, too. But she was there campaigning for Joe Kent for Congress after recently leaving the Democratic Party. Isabel wrote up some news on Mineral School building sold. It's going to open up as a wedding venue.
What was it before? Did they have like writers' retreats there?
They're still going to have the writing residency program there. So this is the first time I ever got to go in the school over the weekend. The school building, if you will, is different than the gymnasium. Like, they're connected, but they're technically separate buildings.
So it's like a field house gym.
Yeah, they're hoping to totally remodel the gym into a venue and then mostly keep the school the same. They'll probably do some upgrades to it, but it will continue to be an Airbnb / host the residency program for a couple of the months in the year. So that won't change a lot, which is good. And I think people are really glad that some of the stuff will stay the same, but I think it's also going to be a really cool wedding venue, obviously, because then you could have a bunch of people stay in the Airbnb while you were getting married.
Yeah, like a destination wedding.
Exactly.
I did want to highlight one more story. It's not a happy story, but I thought it was a very well done story. It was by Emily Fitzgerald for the Saturday edition. The headline was "What Happened to Aaron Christensen? Friends Frustrated with Lack of Information After Man Found Dead Near Wallop Lake in August."
We should have put that in the notes. That was a really good one.
Yeah, it basically we haven't gotten any. I'll rewind. A Portland man was out camping with friends. He went on a solo hike, experienced hiker and all. Never came back. Sheriff's office ends up out there, and they find him dead on the trail with his dog. They're both dead. The family and friends have been told that potentially he had gunshot wounds. None of this has been made official by the sheriff's office, so I have to throw that caveat out there. We don't have official information, just what they have told the family during various times. And the family and friends are quite frustrated that we're 2 months after the fact now, and I can't imagine you can get peace or even start moving towards peace, not knowing how your friend or, much less your family member died on that trail. So here's hoping that we'll get some more information. And sometimes law enforcement purposely does not release information for good reason. So
yeah,
I don't know what the situation is here though, but you can kind of feel the frustration in the friends' quotes in this story. And I thought Emily did a great job of writing it.
Also, just the mystery of the whole situation is really crazy, and the fact that the friends at least, were so willing to talk to us about it. I thought, she did such a great job with that, and it's very interesting read.
I think they were reluctant too. I know Emily mentioned that at least one person said that law enforcement had asked them not to talk to anybody, and that's why they've waited this long to reach out. And I want to repeat, we didn't know about this until first we had an obituary, and it was like, this guy's from Portland. I wonder why his death notice is running locally. And then eventually someone reached out and was like, are you guys going to write a story about the guy that was shot on the trail? And that's how they characterized it. And so there's very little information. If you check the comments when we posted online, I think like the most common reaction was, why haven't I heard about this ever?
Yep.
So
I saw it shared just today in a Packwood group that said the same thing, like, oh, this is right in our backyard, and nobody had known anything about it. So
we had a very small brief, I'll call it, that went out. And so it would have been very easy to miss in the print edition or online. You just might not have seen it.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so. It's been a very enjoyable 120th episode. I look
120.
forward to big episode
120.
129 next week.
I can't wait.